All right, boys. A lot of companies have kind of stopped pushing this crap as much as they were because they finally realized that these ideas are not incredibly popular. Actually, they're very unpopular. We went from the LGBTQ community wanting to be, just left alone, wanting to live their lives or whatever, to now it's like you have to treat us a certain way. It's like, oh, well, no, we just want our rights. No, no, I'm going to be honest with you. These people want special rights. This guy he preaches, man. He preaches. I've seen some other of his stuff. So let's watch this.
Some carry hate.
There
we carry the largest trans pride flag to ever be flown in a national park and unfurled it on the side of El Cap to prove a point that trans is natural.
Please, tell me what's natural about having to wear a wig and tons of eye makeup to try and get people to treat you like a woman.
The Trump administration and
Facts. Absolute facts. Trans is natural. So you're telling me mutilating your body, having to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, cutting off your genitalia, having to, gosh, I just can't. Like, the jokes write themselves, man. That's all I gotta say.
transphobes would love to have you believe that being trans is unnatural, but species that can transition
Of
sexes
course, the name calling, transphobes, whatever. You slightly don't agree with their ideology 100%. You're a transphobe and you're probably racist on top of this. I mean, look, even his name tag says gay. Like, we don't need to know that. We don't need to know it on your name tag. We can just see it by looking at you.
can be found on every continent and in every ocean on planet Earth.
That had to be the most disingenuous analogy that I've ever heard. Show me a human male that's become female spontaneously without spending like $100,000 in the operating room. Well, even the surgeries don't change their biology. And just because
No.
certain animals can do things doesn't mean that humans can do those things.
What, like, humans are chameleons all of a sudden? It doesn't matter how much you mutilate your body. Here's the thing that people don't understand. It does not matter how much you mutilate your body. Okay? If you mutilate your body, if you put on these big breasts, you get yourself a bunch of BBLs as a man, and you die, and we dig up your body, and we dig up your bones, and we do a test on your bones. We could find out that you were male to begin with. Oh, but he had a BBL. He had boobs when he was alive. Nobody cares. He was a male because it's in your DNA. In every fiber of your being, we can tell what sex you are. The sex and gender thing. When people say that gender is not a term, it's just like, I see that argument. Like, it's just male and female. It's not that difficult. It's not that hard.
Some animals aren't sexually dimorphic, and the females are just as strong as the males. That's not humans, though. There are a lot of differences between the sexes. I mean, I don't think I've seen an analogy this bad since the croissant analogy.
If trans women aren't women, then is this big croissant not a croissant?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Of course it's a croissant. It's made out of butter and dough just like any other croissant.
Right, a big croissant and a small croissant are still both croissants. Except that's not what's happening here. You're not a big croissant saying that you're a small one. You're a taco saying, I identify as a pastry.
So before I demolish this delicious
Exactly.
and very
Oh my
valid
gosh.
pastry, repeat after me. Big croissants don't affect me in the slightest.
Yeah, that's not the case. In fact, that's exactly everyone's problem and why people have so much energy against trans activism. We were all just out here minding our own
Exactly.
business, and then a bunch of activists started inserting themselves into everything and saying, you have to treat us how we demand you treat us, or you lose your job. This sort of
Oh my God. Oh, this guy's preaching. Oh my God. Amen, brother. Amen, brother. We went from, we just want to live our lives to, again, we are a protected class. We demand you to treat us this way. We demand you to celebrate us. We demand you to put our flag in front of your business. And if you don't, we will boycott you and we will make sure that you go out of business. And if you don't celebrate with us, or even worse, if you even slightly disagree with how we do things, we will make sure you don't have a job. That's what these people are doing. That's what these people want to do to you. That's who these people are, man.
extortionist behavior is why people are mad at the LGBT crowd.
I'm actually non-binary and use they them pronouns. I definitely could see that. In the best way possible, you look like you'd be non-binary.
You look like you'd be non-binary. Speaking of looking like, why do they all look the same? Why do they all look the freaking same? Same haircut, same build, except this one doesn't have a nose ring. This is a very unique looking one. But they all look the same. Colored hair, horrible haircut, overweight. I'm obviously I know I'm overweight. I've been working on it. But why do they all look the same? I don't understand.
Slay.
It's a cult.
You realize that isn't a compliment, right?
I guarantee you that when people say that, 99% of the time it's not meant to be a compliment. And that's because as soon as you see the wacky hair color and the nose ring, oh wait, this person actually doesn't have a nose ring. Shocking. But when regular people see the wacky outfits, they know they're about to deal with a very difficult or annoying person.
Exactly. Even now, like, there's fatigue for this. The liberal fatigue. It's a real thing. If you were to see somebody walk in that looks like that, look, let me go back a few seconds. Somebody walks into the room, you're having a conversation with somebody and they join in and they look like this, you immediately roll your eyes. Or like, oh my God, here we go. If I say anything that sounds misogynistic or anything that they might not like, this person's about it. They're a ticking time bomb. They're just waiting for you to say something they don't like so that they can go out and try to make you lose your job and ruin your reputation. It's ridiculous.
With narcissistic personality disorder outfits, they know they're about to deal with a very difficult or annoying person, or a narcissist. I mean, there are just so many examples of people with narcissistic personality disorder being gassed up by every major corporation for identifying as LGBT, and everyone hates stuff like this. From Today USA, women want to be her, men want to be with her. Dylan Mulvaney, the true definition of beauty and grace.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think every single male that I know in my life, that I've probably ever met in my life, would never, ever want to be with Dylan Mulvaney.
Bro, Dylan Mulvaney doesn't even want to be Dylan Mulvaney. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of trans people out there who just want to mind their own business and go on with their lives. In fact...
And here's the thing. If you're trans, whatever, I don't care. I really don't care. You want to live this kind of lifestyle? I don't care. But here's where I start caring, and here's where when other average people start caring, is whenever you shove it down your throat and you demand to be treated a certain way. If you're misgendered, that you're going to cause this entire scene. That if they don't have a certain flag on their social media, that you automatically assume that they're racist. That's what people start caring about. Whenever you start acting like a child about it.
The right to be able to mind their own business was originally what the LGBT movement was pushing for, and I think that's an idea that most Americans these days would have no problem supporting. However, the activists, not the normie LGBT people, I'm specifically talking about the activist part of this community, constantly display the most self-centered and entitled behavior, and it's not transphobic or bigoted to point out when someone's being a self-absorbed asshole. Let's go back to that image. Women want to be her. Yeah, except for all the women who were pissed off at Dylan's woman face behavior. In fact, people were so mad at Dylan that Anheuser-Busch almost had to give up the Bud Light brand.
Y'all remember that? They lost over $400 million, 395. So about $400 million they lost simply because they decided to put Dylan Mulvaney as the face of Bud Light. And whoever made that decision, I'm pretty sure is not a part of the company. I'm pretty sure they lost their job over this debacle. Rightfully so, because... And most women, actually pretty much all the women that I've ever met in my life have seen this, and the LGBT movement is such a threat to women. Like we have men competing in women's sports, or people that are wanting transgender women who are men competing in women's sports. It's disgusting, man. Like it's truly detrimental to actual women.
Men want to be with her. No, they don't. Straight men don't. The second they find out you're trans, you're gonna get ghosted.
This video is for straight men and straight men only. I'm sorry, but how in the world could you not like me? Yes, I'm a trans woman, I'm a doll, Like, what is so different about dating me than a cis woman? You can do everything.
You want to know why? Because a cis woman has a vagina and you don't. That's why.
That she can.
Except have children. Did you know?
And that too, exactly. Normal straight men who have traditional family values want to one day have a family. That person, a transgender woman, a man cosplaying as a woman, is not going to be able to give you that because they can't have children. It's common sense, bro. Like, it's not difficult. You can't have children, so therefore, a man that is normal is not going to want to be with you.
Notice the narcissistic, I'm so great behavior? That's why people don't like you. The guy I was on a date with just found out that I was trans. Why is he just finding out on the date?
Yes!
Why wasn't this disclosed on the dating app?
Yes!
I mean, they were definitely using a dating app where photos can be edited and the voice chat wasn't used. Why is it so hard to date straight men when you're just a normal trans girl who makes content for the internet? Well, there you go. Stop catfishing people and maybe you'll find someone who actually likes you.
Amen. Preach it, brother. Oh my God. Like, how do you expect a man, that straight man? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you. Some of these dudes pull off the woman costume pretty dang well. Like, you see them from far away and you're like, all right. And then the moment they talk to you, the moment their voice sounds like mine, you're like, all right, what is going on here? Or even worse, let's say their voice is super high pitched and these people are about to hook up, and right before the hookup happens, you get hit in the face by something. Yeah, how do you expect a man to react to that? Seriously.
I mean, it's crazy how many trans people think it's perfectly fine to start a relationship out by lying by omission.
What do you?
And then here's the other thing. Why are they so afraid to disclose that in the first place? I don't understand what you're afraid of. Are you afraid of rejection? If that's the case, I don't know what to tell you. Like, what do you expect? Like, you want to go after straight men? You want them to you want to force straight men to like you, or if straight men don't like you, then they're transphobes? I hope that makes sense to me, man.
Even really disclosing? What is there to disclose? There's no deception. When you're dating someone, you don't have to disclose every single thing.
It is deception. It is. Going back to the premises that trans women, men cosplaying as women, can't have children. Like, they just cannot have children. Like, that's something you need to disclose.
Thing about yourself up front. That's the fun of it. You get to learn about someone new.
Considering that the status of your sexuality is a big deal for a relationship, that definitely should be disclosed before you even go on a date. Though in this case, I actually wouldn't worry because I don't think anyone's being fooled by you.
He shows off his results of facial feminization surgery. What is your reaction? Again, just reading the tweets. Don't get mad at me. Let's take a look at this. Bro, I'm gonna keep it a bug. You gotta go back and ask for a refund. Like, this was not a complete job. This is just incomplete homework.
Though to be honest, some trans people are more feminine than others, and it's harder for normies to tell. So in the case where someone is intentionally...
That is very true. Some people pull it off incredibly well, I'll tell you that. And some people, it's just simply men cross-dressing. And there's men that do it, and they admit that they are men. Like Jeffree Star. People that hate on Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star... People are like, might say in the comments, you probably hate Jeffree Star. No, Jeffree Star, he admits he's a dude. He likes to wear women's clothing. He likes makeup. He likes nails. Cool. That's on him. That's his life. He can do whatever he wants to. It's free country.
If contact happens that they would otherwise not consent to, I think that should be considered sexual assault. These people are all about consent, right? Well, you can't consent if you don't understand the terms of the deal. And if you're trying to trick someone into consenting to something they otherwise would not consent to if they had full knowledge of the terms, then that is very much the mentality of a rapist.
Oh my God. Man, this guy is just spitting facts. So, going back to what I said earlier, trans people don't want to disclose to in this case, let's take a transgender woman. Biologically male, wants a straight white, wow, oh my gosh. Okay, let's just use a straight male. Who wants a straight male to to date them. Okay. But they don't want to disclose any information. In a way, it's like they don't want to ask for consent. Like, hey, I'm trans, so I'm asking for your consent. Like, do you consent to dating a trans person? And a straight male says, no, I don't consent to dating a trans person. Well, you're a transphobe, homophobe, racist. Like, oh my gosh, this is the logic of the left. It's insane, man.
You aren't fooling anyone.
You're literally not consenting. You don't want them, like, you want to go against their consent. It's insane.
Everyone knows that you aren't disclosing this information right away for a reason. And really, the best way to continue to take power away from these people so they can't threaten us anymore is to just start calling stuff what it is.
Exactly.
All the bullying that trans activists have been doing can completely be defeated if we just stick to reality.
And they're a bunch of cry bullies,
a
too.
trans TikTok influencer who goes by Lily Tino. Well, this person has already been brought up, but now I have a bigger point to make.
Yeah. I've seen this one. This one went viral. The misgendered at Disney. It's so ridiculous. How entitled these people think they are.
If you haven't seen any of the content, this type of stuff is what Tino is famous for.
The bottom is from Thailand?
Yep.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. And the middle one is from India.
Thank you. Just like totally sucks the joy out of this bread tower. Makes me.
My God, like, what do you expect? This guy's voice is deeper than mine. Look at yourself, bro. You don't even have breasts.
One is from India.
Thank you. Just like totally sucks the joy out of this bread tower. Makes me want to immediately like leave because I no longer feel like safe here. It's like, oh,
Safe here. Like, you act like that dude's just gonna start wailing on you. Just. Oh my gosh, bro. It's like such cry bullies, dude, bro. Like, they're so quick to bully somebody on the internet, but the moment that somebody calls them out for what they are, for what they do, they immediately get all, like, they act like genuine children.
my guard now has to be up. I'm not going to enjoy this bread as much because my guard is up. We should be able to go places and not have to worry. I don't think I really want this bread tower.
We should be able to go to places and be entitled to our lifestyle, and we demand to be treated a certain way.
Actually, I think I'd rather have the check.
Did anyone catch what went wrong here? I actually had to watch this multiple times, so let's do a quick repeat.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Sorry, my bad.
So Tino is mad because the waiter said sir. Well, it's kind of hard to call you a ma'am when you look like a sir, and Tino knows that
Yeah,
people will make this
exactly.
mistake, which is why tons of misgendering videos are on Tino's channel.
I just want to tell you that the person who gave me this called me sir.
What?
Call me sir.
Oh.
Yeah, because you are, sir. Like, oh my.
It's just like it kind of.
Even the I don't know if this is the waiter, probably the manager. I mean, he's acting like a Karen. I mean, the left is full of Karens. That's what this Karenocracy that they're trying to create. The manager's even like, am I seriously arguing about this right now? Am I seriously having to put up with this? That's definitely what this person is. The person that he's talking to is thinking.
It just hurts a lot to get called sir. Thank you. I'm not sir. Nothing like a good misgendering. It is a
Because you said, like, bro, your voice is the voice of a man, my guy. You look like a guy. Like, maybe if you played it off so well, maybe you wouldn't get called that. But you're not pulling it off. You're not.
a knife in the gut when I get called sir. It hurts more when it's not intentional because it means like this is sir to him.
Yeah, it's such a knife to the gut that you keep intentionally putting yourself in these situations and film them happening over and over again. Even with the feigned politeness, everyone knows that you're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
And not just that, but Tino has
He's wanting to create a scene. That's what he's trying to do. He wants to create a scene.
talked about not actually caring about being called sir.
Look, I don't need your approval to love my face. But honestly, keep these...
It feels like you do because you kept putting yourself in the situations, those videos that made you go viral. It sounds like you do need the approval of people because you said that it hurts a lot to get called sir.
comments coming because they really don't bother me in the way that you think they bother me, and they boost engagement on my stuff, so keep at it.
A bunch of people saying sir in the comments is what's being responded to. So now we know that Tino bullying people is completely about getting attention. But let's go back to that bread video for a second.
We're supposed to say friend or just not use gendered language. It's like a pretty big thing that Disney has done. Nothing was wrong with bread. I just don't want it anymore. Just because they apologize doesn't mean she doesn't feel sad or offended. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, if you've accidentally ever hurt someone and say, I'm so sorry, it was an accident, do you expect them to be like, oh, it was an accident? Of course, no problem whatsoever. All of that hurt is now undone. That's not how it works.
Sorry about what happened.
It's okay. I would love to pay for the drink, please.
No, the drink is on me too, so...
You don't have... Are you sure?
You're good, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Now you can see why Tino does this. Any narcissist would treat waiters like that if they got free food and special treatment from it. You do understand.
He was probably happy that he got all of that for free. He was like, yes, now no money out of my pocket.
And they had to throw all that food out, right? However, I don't know if you guys caught this, but the waiter had an accent, meaning that English is not his first language, so he probably is...
That too. Oh, so Lily Tino is racist because he's accusing this guy with broken English. English is not his first language for misgendering me. So Lily Tino is racist if we use the liberal logic.
It's not all that privy to the pronoun BS because it's esoteric speech. I mean, if there's any indication that he doesn't understand what's going on,
it's like the whole Latinx movement, which is stupid. Me as a Latino, okay, I'm Mexican, and I speak fluent Spanish. I mean, there's a lot of, when it comes to the language, a lot of things that you say that goes with gender. There's certain words that you say it a certain way if you're talking about a male. You say it a certain way if you're talking about a female. Like, oh my gosh, you expect somebody like this that maybe speaks a language that's gender specific to cater to your needs? Give me a break,
he immediately says sir again after being told to say ma'am. And the whole subtext of this is that this guy spends all this time learning English, and then Tino is out here threatening his livelihood over a minor mistake.
Yep.
That's why you got the free drink. It's because he's afraid of a sociopath like you causing a scene and getting him fired.
Exactly.
Especially considering that this occurred at Disneyland, so you know that if the waiter stands up for himself, the company is not going to back him. So really this person is just making money off of bullying foreigners and using transgenderism as a shield.
Bullying foreigners. How racist.
After being abusive. Because that's what this is. It's abuse.
Yep.
And abuse seems to be kind of a foundational strategy of trans activists. Tino has a lot of this type of content, as well as stuff that progressively gets creepier.
Made it into Disney World. I don't really know what the deal is with bathrooms. You know, Florida is really conservative. I don't know what the rules are. Trans women are allowed to be in women's bathrooms, but I'm about to go and use the bathroom because I have to tinkle. If I get stopped, I get stopped, I guess. But I'm a woman, so I'm going to use the women's bathroom, and being in Florida or being in California or wherever isn't going to stop me.
He's talking about doing this in a place full of children. Do you see why this movement is failing now? The people don't understand why this movement is failing. That is one of the prime number one reasons why this movement is failing, because of garbage like this. We have a grown man at Disney that is wanting to be a woman so badly, and now he's going to try to go into the woman's bathroom. God help you if some dad sees his wife and his daughter go into the restroom, and then this bozo walks in after them.
For one, it's already cringe to be a Disney adult. Two, not only is there this fetishizing with trans people of lying about their status in the hopes of tricking straight men, but there's also a fetishizing of using women's bathrooms. Here's a whole office of biological males filming in the women's bathroom. And I can't imagine how unnerving it must be for women to have to share this space with people who are obviously biological men.
Oh, I go where I please. I will continue to go into women's restrooms, women's locker rooms, women's spaces, because I am a woman, whether you like it or not. And there's nothing you can do about it. I go where I please. And so far, nobody's had the guts to even try and stop me.
No one has tried to stop you because it's a bunch of women who have like half your strength, and they don't want to risk you being a psycho who will violently beat them if they speak up about you using the women's bathroom.
You're gonna give me my fucking money back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here. And your wife
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
They aren't protesting because they're afraid. And what really should happen is that people should just stop going to places with mixed bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of borderline predator behavior, Tino loves to go to Disneyland to explain how transgender surgery works with kids in the background and child-friendly metaphors.
disgusting.
Last summer, I got my K-Pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand.
And Disney has lost so much money over the last few years. The movies that flop, like Lightyear that flopped, it's because they keep catering to these kinds of people. Okay, you are a company that your whole staple is being a company that is magical to children, right? Disneyland, Disney World, the happiest place on earth. You are catering to children. That is your audience. And whenever you start incorporating these bozos into your audience, and people that are have normal, traditional family values that care about their children, are not going to want to buy into your crap.
Reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel. The outside of the wand is what becomes the inside of the tunnel.
This person needs to be put on a
What is that, Atreo? Thanks. I just saw in your chat. What is that? Yeah, I don't know. You tell me.
watch list. I think no one would be shocked if there are some skeletons in Tino's closet. These topics aren't appropriate for young kids.
Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about something super important. What it means to be transgender. It's a big...
And this is why parents always have to watch what their children are watching, or what their children want to watch first, before they actually put their children in front of the TV or in front of an iPad or a phone, because you have bozos like this that are over here preying on children. No 5-year-old kid cares about what is transgenderism. They don't care. They're not thinking about that because they're 5 and 6, 7, 8 years old. They don't care. Their brain naturally is not going to think about this. And if a kid does, it's because it's been put into their brain by someone like this.
Big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand. Ready to learn? The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes. Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both?
I don't know who's in the chat, but tell me, what do you feel like? Do you feel like a boy or a girl? Tell me.
For those of you who don't know what's going on, this is a parody of Miss Rachel, who is a very popular creator for
who is also very, very woke as well. This lady's very woke.
Young kids. A friend of mine has a 2-year-old, and I caught an episode while he was visiting where she was teaching toddlers how to say no, so that was great. Well, maybe it's annoying to parents, but probably very useful if they ever meet someone like Lily Tino. And I'm not just making allegations here.
Yeah, we're going to teach you to say no, children, kids. Make sure you say no to these kinds of people. Whatever they say, you just tell them no.
Tino literally has an OnlyFans account and advertises that account in the same area where the videos targeted at children can be viewed.
Oh my God, bro, these people. And they wonder why their movement is failing. Like, it's simple. It's so freaking simple. This movement started with, we just want to be left alone. We just want to live our lives. We just want to be able to get married and have rights like everybody else, blah, blah, blah. They went from that to now we want to indoctrinate your children. This is what this has gone to now.
How is this not a crime? Can you see why people are mad now? Stuff like this happens over and over again, and this information gets pushed on younger and younger people way before it's age appropriate.
Exactly.
And now they have stuff like this.
Applications are open for Brave Trails 2025. Whether you're new or returning, get ready for an unforgettable summer in California, New York.
Of course, it's California and New York. That makes sense.
Or Georgia. Brave Trails is the summer camp for LGBTQ plus youth ages 12 to 17. With creative programming, gender-neutral housing, and affirming spaces to be your true.
Gender-neutral housing. Oh my gosh. The amount of bad things that could happen at this camp. The assault is one thing that I'm thinking about. How many people would try to get into this? Like, somebody that identifies as, I'm under the age of 17. That's how I identify as. Are you going to discriminate me? And then they get into this camp, and you have this person that's clearly an adult around minors. Do you not realize the kind of dangers that this could present?
Wait, so you're going to put a bunch of boys and girls with cameras in mixed housing? They're going to change and sleep in the same area with an age difference from 12 to 17?
That's insane,
You don't see a problem with that?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think they do.
No, they
and
don't.
what's funny is that I'm old enough to remember that back in 2020, I made a video about them medically transitioning kids, and I got gaslit like crazy with a bunch of wokies in the comments saying,
I can imagine.
no, they're just socially transitioning kids. They don't get medical treatment until they're adults.
Then what the hell are puberty blockers then?
At that point, there were only a handful of news stories about people medically transitioning under 18, but just 5 years later, medically transitioning kids has been completely normalized.
Estrogen treatment.
Not just normalized, they're pushing it. And now they're wanting to take kids away from their parents who don't want to medically transition their kids or don't want to take their kids as far away as they possibly can from this freaking crazy ideology.
Is irreversible and would make Josie sterile. But Josie and her mother never doubted it was the right thing until an unexpected conversation happened one afternoon.
But on the inside, where nobody else can see,
Yeah.
are you a boy or are you a girl?
Maybe I'm a boy inside and a girl outside.
Really?
What?
Yeah, is that true?
Only you know the answer to that.
Sometimes I think I'm a boy, sort of.
You know how you know the answer to that? Just by doing that.
But I want to be a girl.
Yeah.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. You're not going to wait until...
And then another thing that people don't realize, this girl right here, this little girl, she's a dollar sign to Big Pharma. Something that you guys haven't thought about, or maybe you have thought about. Yeah, these people are dollar signs to Big Pharma. They are money-making machines. Oh yeah, keep visiting. You want another surgery? Oh yeah, we need to put you on this medication. Oh yep. Oh yeah, let's do this surgery, and then we need you to come back again to get another one. Money-making machines. People like this are for Big Pharma.
Until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
A lot of times it strikes me that had this happened just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers, and she would have had to go through male puberty. That terrifies me. It's all done. Do you want a hug? I don't know that she would have survived male puberty.
I'm not really sure how these people have it in their head that it's okay to allow a young child to make a permanent decision like that.
It's child abuse, and parents who do that, I think Child Protective Services should be called on them.
Especially considering that the child expressed pretty heavy doubt, and maybe that's the best cue to not put your kid on life-altering medications when they turn 13.
It seems more like we're experimenting on children like the Nazis did, though.
It does
Ooh.
seem a little suspect. I agree.
I mean, imagine if the Nazis...
These guys are literally children. Have become medical experiments, just like I said. Just like I said, they are money-making machines for Big Pharma.
Nazi scientists came forward and said, but the kids really want it.
The one thing that keeps me happy is that we're moving closer to a place where eventually people who do this are going to start getting punished for
Yes,
it. Especially since
punished.
Twitter got bought and stories like these aren't being suppressed anymore.
I had facial feminization surgery. I had sex reassignment
I just saw this one recently.
I was on HRT for 17 years. Now I'm on a combo dose because I can't go off. I have...
And just keep in mind, I don't know how much of this clip he shows. This person actually still is gay. I think this guy's a male. He's a gay man. He says that he's still a gay man, but he detransitioned because it just didn't work out. I mean, it messed him up medically.
Transitioning young and for transitioning for so long.
This person...
That's not the only story. There's been multiple stories, which obviously they try to suppress, of people detransitioning. And then when people are like, well, we don't want kids offing themselves because we didn't allow them to transition. No, we don't want children offing themselves because they made a decision that they were too young to make, and adults were stupid enough to let them make that decision, push them to make that decision, and then later on down the road they want to off themselves because they realize how stupid their decision was.
Person has to take medication permanently despite regretting the transition because of the damage that transitioning caused. And it's sick because the activist community loves to pretend that none of these drugs like hormone blockers have any side effects.
So what was it for you that kind of woke you up to this isn't what I should have done?
I found out that homosexual transition was environmentally caused in almost every single case by childhood sexual assault or by internalized homophobia or failed boy syndrome. People are being lied to when they're being diagnosed. They're not being diagnosed with what actually causes the gender.
You want to know why they're being lied to? Again, they're a money-making machine for Big Pharma. Big Pharma, all these doctors that specialize in gender transitioning, they see these guys, they see these kinds of people as dollar signs. That's what they are.
Dysphoria. They're just being diagnosed with a symptom of a problem, and there are multiple problems.
So they can make
cause
their money.
this life of ruin. All of these interventions are permanent, they're irreversible, and they lied to me.
I don't know if the numbers are that high, but sexual abuse history sure is commonly reported amongst people who transition.
It is very
as
common.
well as symptoms of it, like drug abuse and homelessness. Now, the age-old thing that the activists like to say...
Something traumatic has happened in their life that has pushed them towards acting like this.
...is that you could end the life of a trans person by misgendering them. However, if you look at the studies that they cite, the people...
Yeah, you could also end the life of someone that is transgender, someone that was that thought they were transgender as a kid, and now you've pumped them with all these drugs and done all these mutilations to their body, and now they're ending their life because they completely regret that decision, and they've done irreversible damage to their body.
...on the high-risk categories are very often drug abusers or homeless, and HRT is not going to fix that.
And they don't care about the people who are indoctrinated, who are harmed by this loosey-goosey system where you can walk into a therapist in 15 minutes and be given a gender dysphoria diagnosis.
Right. They don't care at all.
No.
I think when Lily
care about
Timo makes
money.
a video dressed as Miss Rachel, that's not about educating people. It's about trying to find the next viral trend to build popularity and promote the OnlyFans account.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
these people rarely...
This is all pointing people to OnlyFans.
...if ever, talk about people who regret transitioning. In fact, I've heard rumors that on Reddit, such people are shunned from the transgender forums.
Wow. The fact that somebody, again, this is the left eating each other alive. They do this all the time. The moment that you don't conform exactly 110% to their ideology, to how they do things, you are excommunicated from their mob. It's literally a cult, man. It's a cult. It's ridiculous.
But the nefarious part with kids is that kids are easily manipulated, will often do what they think will impress their parents, and they have no life experience. They've only been around for a few years, so how...
And you have the two extremes, right? You have the parents that will shun their kid and excommunicate them out of their lives for being gay, being transgender, and then now you have the other extreme, where you have liberal freaking crazy parents who will now shun and excommunicate their kid from their family if they're not transgender or gay or don't fall in line with their values.
How are they supposed to know at 11 what their desires are going to be at 30 or 40 or 50?
Because they're 11!
Where are the adults? Adults are supposed to be around as advisors to prevent kids from doing stuff they might regret in the long term.
Exactly.
In fact,
why can't a 12-year-old consent to sex? It's that simple. Why can't a kid consent to getting a tattoo without parental consent? You can't vote till you're 18. You can't drink till you're 21. So why in the hell do we think it's okay to let a 12-year-old mutilate their genitalia? And in the case of it being a female child, cut off their breast, take out their ovaries, and then later down the line they want to have children. They can't no more because they made a decision way back then when they weren't thinking right that they wanted to mutilate their body, and some adults pushed them towards it.
As a society, I think it's people's responsibility to prevent those around them from making stupid decisions. A lot of people's dumb choices could be stopped if they didn't have a shitty friend group. You want people in your life who will sit you down and talk you through major decisions and give you corrective feedback. People need the feedback of others to know how to behave appropriately. It's something that I'm sure these narcissistic activists are missing in their lives. So let's do them all the favor of not appeasing their BS. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Great video. This is a freaking awesome video. Again, this guy's Think Before You Sleep. Okay, he's right here. Go sub to this guy. Go like this video. Share this video with friends that probably have not seen it. Yeah, great video. And it's very easy to see why the LGBT movement has been crumbling, and it's simply because of common sense. People are tired of having to walk on eggshells for these kinds of people. People are tired of having to be demanded to how to treat these people. It's the whole premises of people are being tired of being told what to think, what to put on their social media post. They're tired of being told what to do. They are. They're sick of it. And this is that the LGBT movement is a protected class, and like for example in comedy, right? You can make fun of everybody. You can make fun of Christians, but the moment you make fun of the LGBTQIA plus whatever divided by sign community, all of a sudden you're racist, you're a fascist, you're a homophobe, and you're a bigot. Comedy, nobody's safe from comedy. We can't even have comedy anymore without this group of people being offended. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop.